Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. This time we're going deep on something that affects us all. Employee well-being.
Ah, yes.
And how it's not just some nice perk, but truly crucial to any company's success.
Yeah.
So we've got tons of research, some really cool case studies, even a few stories to kind of bring it all to life.
Interesting.
Imagine this. 2 companies, same field, similar size, but one, they really put well-being front and center. The other, not so much.
Gotcha.
Where would you rather work?
Yeah.
And maybe even more importantly, which one do you think is going to win in the long run?
Yeah, I think that's the question, isn't it? Like, for years, well-being was seen as this, I don't know, fluffy extra.
Right.
Now it's a total performance driver.
Interesting.
Deloitte's research found that companies with solid well-being programs are 2.3 times more innovative.
Wow.
And almost 4 times better at keeping their employees around.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's massive. It's not just about warm fuzzies anymore.
Right. That's not just a feel-good stat. That's real bottom-line impact.
Exactly.
Makes me wonder what's the opposite. Right?
Yeah.
What's the cost of just ignoring well-being completely?
Well, the World Health Organization actually put a dollar amount on it.
Okay.
$1 trillion a year, globally.
Wow.
Due to stress-related illnesses, lost productivity, healthcare costs. It's this hidden drain on so many businesses.
So it's not just about, like, beanbag chairs and free snacks in the break room.
Right.
This is serious stuff.
Yeah.
So let's get down to brass tacks here. What does real, impactful well-being actually look like? When a company does it right, what are they doing?
It's got to be a holistic thing, you know, woven into the very fabric of the company. Not just a quick fix, but like how they operate at their core.
Gotcha. Can you give me a real-world example? What does that look like in practice?
Absolutely. Take flexibility, for example.
Okay.
It's exploded, and for good reason, right? Remember that buffer survey? 98% of remote workers want to stay that way.
Wow. Yeah.
It's not just about where you work. It's about the autonomy, control over your schedule, no more crazy commutes. It all directly feeds into well-being.
It's like when you have more control over your workday, you feel more respected, right?
Yeah.
Like a person, not just some work robot.
Right.
But does that come at a cost?
Yeah.
Like, does productivity take a hit?
That's the myth we need to bust. There's this global consulting firm. They tried out Flex Fridays.
Oh, nice.
Everyone's done by noon. Results. Employee satisfaction jumped 25%, and their productivity went up too.
Get out of here.
They were happier and more efficient.
That's the dream, isn't it? Everyone wins.
Exactly.
What else are companies doing, the ones really making a difference in this well-being space?
Mental health support. This is the big one. So many companies still dance around, but the numbers are, frankly, scary.
Yeah.
67% of employees dealing with burnout at least monthly.
Oof, that's a lot.
Yeah. Companies like Google, Unilever, they're tackling it head on.
How so?
Counseling, mental health days, building resilience. They're making it okay to not be okay.
It still feels taboo in a lot of workplaces, right? Like if you admit you're struggling, you're somehow weak.
Yeah.
But if these big players are on board, maybe the tide is turning.
I think there are hopeful signs, yeah.
Good.
There's this international bank.
Okay.
They made stress management training mandatory for all their managers.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Within a year, 30% drop in stress-related absences and engagement scores went way up.
That's amazing.
It's not just the right thing to do ethically. It's smart for business.
Right. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
So we've got flexibility, mental health.
Yeah.
What's that third piece of the puzzle?
Purpose.
Okay.
People crave meaning in their work, right? Deloitte's research showed 73% of employees in purpose-driven companies are way more engaged.
That's a big jump. Makes sense, though. Nobody wants to feel like what they do all day is pointless.
Exactly.
But how do companies actually put this into practice?
Yeah.
How do you make work feel more purposeful?
It's more than just slapping a mission statement on the wall. It's got to be about matching people's strengths to their roles.
Okay.
Giving them chances to grow, showing how their work fits into the big picture.
Yeah.
There's this nonprofit. They redesigned their job descriptions to really highlight the purpose.
Interesting.
Bam. 40% engagement increase, turnover dropped way down.
So it's not just what you do, it's how you frame it.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
But even with all these strategies, even if a company nails all this. Doesn't it all kind of fall apart without the right leadership?
100%.
Like buy-in from the top.
You hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
Leaders set the tone. They need to champion well-being.
It's got to be more than just talk. They got to walk the walk too, right? Any examples of that in action?
Yeah, I've got a good one.
Okay.
This tech company's CEO, he came out publicly about his struggles with anxiety.
Wow.
Just that one act of vulnerability made it okay to talk about mental health in the whole company.
That's powerful.
Gave everyone permission to do the same.
Because it makes those at the top seem human, relatable, right? No more pretending to be perfect.
Exactly. And that makes employees feel safer, more trusting. It strengthens the entire company culture.
So we've got strategies, we've got leadership on board, but how do you measure this?
Right.
How do we actually know if these well-being initiatives are working?
Data.
Okay.
Can't just go with gut feeling here.
Right.
We need to track the hard numbers. We want to see those employee engagement scores going up, retention rates getting better, absenteeism trending down. And
productivity ideally going up too, right? Showing that well-being actually helps the company's performance, not hurts it.
Exactly. It's not just about, good vibes. It's about results. This retailer, for example, they went all in on well-being, focused on community involvement, empowering their employees.
Interesting.
And within a year, their sales per employee jumped 12%.
Now, that's a case study. It proves that well-being isn't just some fluffy HR thing.
Yeah.
It's a real business strategy. But it makes me think well-being, it's so personal.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for someone else.
You're absolutely right. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. That's why smart companies are moving away from those generic programs and embracing personalization.
So it's more like a well-being menu. Employees can pick and choose what they need.
Exactly. Some people love being fully remote. Others need that hybrid model. Some need counseling. Others find stress relief through fitness or mindfulness.
Yeah.
It's all about having options.
And technology could play a big role there, couldn't it?
Oh, for sure.
There are so many apps now for tracking well-being, finding resources, connecting with people.
Yeah.
It's like you can build your own personalized well-being journey.
Technology can definitely help personalize the experience.
Yeah.
But we can't forget that well-being is an ongoing thing.
Right.
It's not some finish line you cross and you're done.
It's more like a muscle you have to keep working out.
Yeah.
Always learning, growing, adapting.
Exactly. And a big part of that is giving employees the power to advocate for their own well-being.
Okay.
They need to feel comfortable speaking up about what they need.
Which means the company culture has to be supportive.
Yeah, 100%.
It can't just be a bunch of programs on paper.
Right.
It needs to be built into how people interact and communicate.
Couldn't agree more. Open communication, a culture of trust, that's where it all begins. And again, leadership sets the tone. Leaders have to walk the walk, be vulnerable themselves, encourage others to do the same.
Because if you've got a CEO who's all about work-life balance, it's going to trickle down.
Totally. But if you've got a leader who's burning the midnight oil and expects everyone else to do the same, that's a recipe for burnout.
Yeah. Leaders
need to be role models, showing that it's okay to take care of yourself, set boundaries, ask for help.
It's about breaking down the stigma, isn't it? Especially around mental health.
Yeah.
So many people suffer in silence because they're afraid to admit they're struggling.
Exactly. We need to change the conversation from weakness to resilience. Everyone faces challenges. And seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Companies that get that are going to have a huge advantage.
They'll attract and keep the best people. For sure.
Absolutely. People want to work where they feel valued and supported as human beings, not just workers.
Exactly. And when you create that kind of environment, you unlock so much potential.
Yeah.
People are more creative, more engaged, more willing to take risks and try new things.
Makes you wonder what the future of work could be like if well-being was actually the norm.
Right. Do you think we'll see a shift in that direction?
I'm optimistic. The pandemic was a wake-up call. Companies had to pay attention to well-being, ready or not.
Yeah.
And a lot of them realized it wasn't just a nice extra, it was essential.
Like we can't just keep pushing people to the limit and expect them to perform at their best. It's not sustainable.
Exactly. And the more companies figure that out, the more they'll invest in well-being. And not just for their employees, but for their own bottom line. It's a win-win.
Employees are happier, companies are more successful, and society benefits from a more engaged and productive workforce. It's a beautiful vision.
It really is. A world where work isn't a source of stress and burnout, but a source of fulfillment and well-being.
I love that.
Yeah.
But it's easy to get lost in the big picture ideals.
Right.
What can people do, like right now, to start moving in that direction?
Great question. First, ask yourself, what can I do to take care of my own well-being?
Okay.
Then, what can I do to advocate for well-being at work?
It's like that oxygen mask on the airplane, right?
Yeah.
Take care of yourself first, then help others.
Exactly. Even small changes can make a difference. Mindfulness, setting boundaries, speaking up about your needs.
And supporting companies that are doing it right.
Yes.
Voting with our wallets and our talent.
Absolutely. We have the power to shape the world we want.
Yeah.
And that includes the world of work.
This has been so inspiring. I'm feeling really energized and hopeful about the future of work.
Me too. And remember, well-being is a journey, not a destination. So keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing for a better future of work.
We'll be back soon with more deep dives into topics that matter. Until then, stay curious and keep well. You know, it feels like a lot of this goes beyond just each person's own well-being.
Oh, yeah.
It's about the whole company culture, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Individual well-being can't really thrive without a good system around it.
Right.
It's about collective well-being, a culture of caring that affects everyone.
We all rise and fall together kind of thing.
Exactly. We're all connected, and that feeling of belonging, being part of something bigger, that actually boosts well-being too.
So how do companies build that? Is it just more pizza parties and team outings?
Well, those are fun, but it goes deeper.
Okay.
I think team building that actually means something. Social events that people actually want to go to. Mentorship that really supports people. It's about creating chances for people to connect authentically.
Beyond just work stuff. Right. Seeing each other as, well, people.
Exactly. That's where the magic is.
Okay.
Those connections build trust, better teamwork, a shared purpose.
And that leads to good things.
Oh, yeah. Innovation, productivity, solving problems better.
Because when you trust your team, you're more willing to take risks, share ideas, be vulnerable.
Absolutely. That's where the breakthroughs happen.
And if those ideas come from a place of well-being,
yes,
they're probably going to be more sustainable.
Definitely. Not just a quick win, but real lasting impact.
Which brings us back to resilience, right? If well-being is like a muscle, then this collective well-being is like the whole team working out together.
I like that.
Stronger together, able to handle more.
Exactly. When people feel supported by their coworkers and the company, they bounce back from setbacks so much faster.
They know they're not alone.
Right. That's psychological safety at work.
That feeling of, it's okay to mess up, ask for help, we've got your...
So important. And when people feel safe, that's when they innovate.
Okay.
Push boundaries, try new things, maybe even fail, but then learn from it.
So it's not just about avoiding stress or being happy 24/7.
Yeah.
It's about creating a culture where people can truly reach their potential.
Perfectly said. Well-being is the foundation for growth for everyone.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
Yeah.
I'm walking away feeling really optimistic, like maybe good things are coming to the world of work.
I agree. The conversation is changing. Companies are starting to get it. Yeah. And as more of them prioritize well-being, we'll all feel the positive effects.
So what's the call to action for our listeners? What can they do right now to be part of this?
Start with yourself. What's one small thing you can do today to take care of your well-being?
Okay.
Maybe a walk, setting a boundary, talking to someone.
Yeah.
Then think about your workplace. What can you do to advocate for well-being there? Even a small conversation can make a difference.
And support the companies who are getting it right.
Yeah.
The ones who walk the walk.
Absolutely. Our choices matter.
They do. We all have a part to play in building a better future of work.
And that future starts with each of us.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you learned something new and are feeling inspired to take action.
It's been great. Remember, well-being is a journey, not a destination. So keep learning, keep growing, and keep fighting for a better world of work.
We'll be back soon with more deep dives into topics that matter. Until then, stay curious and keep well.